Hello everybody, I'm Max. In this video, I'm going to try and explain the difference between a credit card and a debit card, and why I think that you should go with a credit card regardless of your situation. Let's start by looking at how a debit card works. Basically, a debit card allows you to pay for things with money that you have deposited in your bank account. When you pay for something using a debit card, that amount is subtracted directly from your bank account pretty much instantly. A credit card, on the other hand, gives you access to a line of credit. What this means is that you're allowed to borrow money up to the credit card limit. This means that when you pay for something, that money isn't being subtracted directly from your bank account. Instead, you're borrowing the money from the bank, which you will have to pay back in the future. If you don't pay the bank what you owe before the end of the month, you have to pay a penalty in the form of interest. That's the basic idea behind how debit cards and credit cards work. At this point, you might be wondering which one of the two is better. Like with most things, it depends on your situation and your point of view. But I personally believe that you're always better off using a credit card. And now I'm going to explain why. But first, a little word from this video's sponsor, the like button. The like button is a groundbreaking feature. It helps the YouTube algorithm and it turns blue when you click it. And the best part is that it is completely free to use. Go ahead, try it out. Alright, let's get back on track. I'm going to explain why I think that you should always go with a credit card, even if you have the money to buy something. There's a few more differences between credit cards and debit cards than just the way they work. One of the main differences, and probably reason enough on its own to justify using a credit card over a debit card, is that using a credit card affects your credit score. Your credit score, in case you don't know, is a number that represents how likely you are to repay your debts. Your credit score can range from 300 to 850. The higher the number, the less risk that you'll default on your payments. That means that it's less risky for banks to lend you money, which in turn means that you can get better deals when you have to get a loan. This is extremely important in cases like when you're trying to get a mortgage, since it means that you'll have a lower interest rate, making buying a home much cheaper. Using a credit card and paying it off in full every month will help in improving your score, whereas using a debit card will neither help nor hurt your credit score. Now sure, racking up too much credit card debt can be bad for your credit score, but even having a bad credit score is better than not having one at all, which would be the case if you only use debit. The solution to this problem is simple. Use a credit card, but just don't carry a balance from month to month. Always pay off your credit card in full at the end of the month, and your credit score will improve. This brings me to another reason why I would recommend a credit card over a debit card. Even though you're borrowing money and you're not paying directly with what you have in your bank account, you can still treat a credit card just like you would a debit card. You would only spend as much as you have in your bank account, and when the end of the month comes around, you pay off your credit card in full. That way you won't have to pay any interest, and you won't be paying any more than if you were using a debit card. In fact, even if you use a debit card, it still doesn't protect you completely from owing the bank money, since if you pay more than what's in your account, you could still end up being charged an overdraft fee. That's why it's not even all that different whether you're using a credit card instead of a debit card. The only solution in either case is to avoid spending more money than you have. This is the correct way to be using your credit cards. That is, you shouldn't be spending more money than you actually have. If you never spend more than you have in your account, you will never have to pay any interest on a credit card. You can always pay off your balance in full at the end of the month, and you'll still be able to benefit from all of the perks that credit cards offer. One of those perks are rewards, like for example sign-up bonuses, cashback, or earning points or miles. Many credit cards offer cash or extra points when signing up and spending a certain amount of money within the first few months. If you're planning on spending that money already, you might as well get something back for it. Another common reward offered by credit cards is cashback. Cashback basically means that you get back a certain percentage of what you pay with your credit card, usually around 1 or 2%. This is like getting a discount on everything you buy. You can't get that with debit cards. Finally, a lot of credit cards offer points or miles for each purchase you make using them. You can then exchange those points for flights, hotels, and a bunch of other rewards, saving you a ton of money. Something else that you can get with some credit cards are extended warranties on some of the things you buy, especially electronics. This means that if something you bought with your credit card breaks after the manufacturer's warranty expires, you might still be covered by your credit card company. I can't say I've ever needed to use it, but if you ever do need it, it's nice to have. The last reason why I recommend credit cards over debit cards is that they offer better consumer protection in case your card ever gets lost or stolen. I've had my card number stolen one time. I have no idea how it happened. I'd never even used that card online before. The only one who knew my card number besides me was a Nigerian prince that wanted to give me his fortune. Unfortunately, I had to cancel my card before he could send me the money. But I had to do it because I found out, while looking over my expenses, that I got charged for something I hadn't bought for a value of $120. Someone had bought something from Amazon in another country using my credit card. Amazon customer service was horrible and no help at all, but luckily it was very easy to get my money back through my bank. I just reported it to the police, disputed the amount that Amazon charged me, and cancelled my credit card. It only took a few business days to get the money back in my bank account. Had the same thing happened to me with a debit card, it would have taken forever to get that money back, that is, if I ever got it back at all. Usually, you won't get your money back if you paid with a debit card unless the merchant agrees to return it and until an investigation is completed. If you don't have a credit card yet, out of fear of going into debt or having to pay interest, I would advise you to get one and start using it. When I was younger, I used to think just like that. Why would I use a credit card when I can spend my own money and not go into debt? Hopefully I answered that question in this video and you can start benefiting from all of the advantages that credit cards have to offer. Let me know down in the comments whether you agree with me or not. Also, let me know if there are any topics you would like me to cover in the future. As always, it would help me tremendously if you destroyed that like button. Please don't leave this video without hitting the like button. Also, remember to subscribe and hit the bell so that you don't miss out on any new videos. I post weekly, so make sure to subscribe and come back next week for another video. I'll see you all next week.